Hey, what's up, gang? What is up? This is your brother Big D, Darren Marion with Blerdplanet.com, retail SEO, DarrenMarion.com, motivational speaker. Look me up. Anyway, I am here today because we're going to be premiering. We're going to start running a series on the interviews of the Central Park Five. And the first interview that we're going to be playing is one with Korey Wise. Now, who was Korey Wise? Actually, Korey Wise was, let me see, he was one of the five boys accused of attacking and raping a 28-year-old woman in New York City Central Park in 1989. He was accused alongside with Yusef Salaam, Antron McCray, Raymond Santana, and Kevin Richardson. Wise, he was just 16 years old at the time when he was accompanied by his friend Yusef Salaam to the police station. Now, at first, Wise was not suspected of having any involvement in the events that took place in Central Park and was simply there as support for his homeboy Yusef. However, once he arrived, he was subjected to the same interrogation as the four other boys and even signed a written confession. Wise, McRae, Santana, and Richardson all signed written confessions, which they later said they were forced to sign and they were false. Yosef was the only teenager not to sign a written confession, and we're going to be playing his interview as well. He was convicted of assault, sexual abuse, and riot, according to the Innocence Project. He was sentenced to 5 to 15 years in prison and served 11 and a half years in prison. By the time he was released, the longest of all five boys. So he was like the one that basically had, he was just showing up. He got the longest sentence of anybody, and he was, received some of the harshest charges. Now, seen in episode 4 of the miniseries, Korey spent time at Rikers Island and experienced periods of solitary confinement, psychological and physical abuse. Ava DuVernay, director of When They See Us, told Vanity Fair, "I've never met anyone like him. Every time I sit with him and every time I talk to him, I think, how are you walking and talking?" When you hear and see what he's gone through, he's a walking miracle. He really is. And he's really brilliant. I call him the prophet because you sit down with Korey for a while and you come away with some gems. I'm lucky to have that. And that was from Ava DuVernay. In 2002, Matthias Reyes, who was already serving life in prison for other offenses, confessed to the crime. And DNA tests linked Reyes to the victim. The Innocence Project also described how mitochondrial DNA testing on the hairs found in one of the defendants revealed that the hairs were not related to the victim or the crime. Further tests then revealed that the hairs found on the victim matched Reyes. As a result, the 5 men were exonerated, meaning their convictions were overturned. Reyes had met Wise in prison at the Auburn Correctional Facility in New York in 2001. Now, after 2002, Dr. Wise, Salaam, McCray, and Santana and Richardson were exonerated. The 5 sued the city of New York for malicious prosecution, racial discrimination, and emotional distress. In 2014, the case was finally settled for $41 million. So it took another 12 years after all this miscarriage of justice for them to receive any type of settlement. Nowadays, he's an award-winning activist, public speaker, working closely with the Innocence Project. The Innocence Project has appeared in other true crime documentaries, such as The Innocent Man on Netflix, the serial podcast about Adnan Syed, which was also an HBO documentary, which was great. The case against Adnan Syed. Man, that is a crazy one right there. Yeah, it's crazy. But Wise is 46 years old and still resides in New York City, which is crazy because I'm 44, man. So he's 2 years older than I am. So at the same, now, yeah. So, so take a look at the interview, watch it. You'll see, you'll be astonished by the way the line of question is, and you see, like, wait a minute, these boys were all, there's no DNA linked them. If you'd have seen the interviews that these guys went through when they were in there, when they went to the police station, you'd have seen that they were more than coerced. So, yeah. So enjoy, comment, like, subscribe, and remember, man, be a blerd, man.
Okay. is Elizabeth Lederer. I'm an assistant district attorney in New York County. I'd like to ask you some questions about a series of things that happened in Central Park on the night of April 19th of 1989. Before I do that, I'd like to advise you of your rights with respect to statements you may make now, okay? You have the right to remain silent and to refuse to answer any questions. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Anything that you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
You have the right to consult a lawyer now before any questioning and have a lawyer present during any questioning. Do you understand? Could you please answer out loud?
Yes.
If you have no lawyer or cannot afford a lawyer will be provided for you now free of charge before any questioning. Do you understand?
Thank you. Yes.
Now that I've advised you of your rights, are you willing to tell me the truth about what happened in Central Park on the night of April 19th of 1989?
Yes.
Okay. Before I go any further, I just want to say it is now 12:35. It is Friday, April 21st of 1989. Present in this room, as I told you, I'm Elizabeth Lederer. I'm an assistant district attorney. Also present is Tim Clemens, who is an assistant district attorney in New York County, and Detective Nugent, who you have already met, I believe. Have you met Detective Nugent before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. When you spoke to Detective Nugent earlier, did you make a statement to him?
About what?
About what happened in Central Park on the night of the 19th? And before the detective took that statement from you, did he advise you of your Miranda rights?
Yes.
Could you please state your full name?
Korey Wise.
What's your last name, please?
Wise.
Wise. Where do you live? And how old are you?
16.
Do you go to school?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you go to school?
LeBron Stevenson High School.
And what grade are you in there?
10th.
I'd like to ask you, if you would, to tell us when you went to Central Park on the night of April 19th of 1989.
When?
Do you know what time it was?
No.
Let me ask you before we start. I see you have a soda in front of you. No, that's all right. I just want to... You asked for a soda a little while ago, and the detective brought you a soda. Are you feeling okay?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to the park on the night of April 19th?
Yes.
And what were you doing before you went to the park? Do you remember?
Nothing.
Nothing? Where were you doing nothing? Were you at home or hanging out on the street?
Not outside. As usual.
Were you with some friends, or were you by yourself?
I was by myself.
And when you... Did you have a girlfriend with you?
Yes.
Okay, what's your girlfriend's name?
Lisa.
What's Lisa's last name?
I don't know.
Do you know where she lives?
Yes.
Where's that? What were you doing with Lisa before you went to the park?
Nothing. I was in the store.
You were in a store?
No, she went to a chicken store. I was outside.
Did you run into some people then?
I went to my friend.
One friend?
Yeah, it was Eddie.
What's Eddie's last name?
I don't know.
How do you know Eddie?
I know Eddie for a long time. We grew up together.
And you don't know his last name?
No.
Do you know where he lives?
Yes.
Where does Eddie live? Did you and Eddie do something then?
No.
Well, you said a minute ago that you ran into Eddie.
Yes.
Okay, what happened after that?
He was talking to me about what I was doing. I said nothing. He asked where I was going. I said nowhere. So I looked over towards my right hand shoulder. There was a bunch of guys going towards Central Park. So
How many guys did you see?
the ones that live with 30,
Okay. Is that a guess, or did you count them?
I guess.
Did you recognize any of the people in that group?
Yes.
Who did you recognize?
I recognize Steve.
When you say Steve, is that Steve Lopez?
Yes.
Do you know Steve Lopez?
Yes.
How long have you known him?
Quite a while.
Would that be a couple years?
Yeah.
And did you go to school with him?
No.
You know him from the neighborhood?
Yes.
Who else did you recognize?
Fedari.
Who's that?
Fedari.
Is Fedori a man or a woman? A boy or a girl?
Male.
He's a male.
Yeah.
Do you know Fedori's last name?
No.
Do you know where he lives?
Yes.
Where does he live? Okay. And who else did you recognize?
Who else? My friend Yusef.
Yusef?
Yes.
Do you know Yusef's last name?
No.
Do you know where he lives?
Yes.
Where does he live? How well do you know Yusef?
For quite a while.
When you say
Few years.
few years, do you know him because you went to school with him?
No.
Do you know him from the neighborhood?
Yes.
Who else did you recognize?
Kevin.
Is that Kevin Richardson?
Yes. I don't know where we live at.
You don't know where he lives? How well do you know Kevin?
Quite a few years.
And again, do you know him from
The street.
the street? Who else did you see that you knew?
Patrick.
Who's Patrick?
Patrick was a young man that was. I don't know what floor he lived on.
Do you know Patrick's last name?
No.
Did you see somebody that you know as Steve?
With Steve?
Did you see a guy by the name of Steve there?
Steve, yes.
And do you know Steve's last name?
No.
Where does Steve live? Do you know?
He was apartment. I don't know his door. I don't know what floor he lived on.
Did you see anybody else in that group that you recognized?
A couple of others, but I don't know where they live at.
What were their names? Do you know?
Raymond.
I'm sorry?
Raymond.
Raymond? Do you know Raymond's last name? Is that Raymond Santana?
Yeah. I was known for that the first day.
Okay. Did you see him here in the precinct earlier?
Yes.
Who else did you see? Fernando? That's not the same person as Fedora. Different person.
Yes.
And do you know? Oh, is it Orlando or Fernando?
Orlando.
Orlando. Do you know Orlando's last name?
No.
Do you know where Orlando lives?
He live in Foster. Foster. He live on. I don't know exact place.
And do you also know him from the street?
Yes.
Did you happen to see somebody there by the name of Mike?
Mike?
Do you know anybody by the name of Mike?
Not that I know of.
Mike Briscoe, do you know that name? Was there anybody else that you saw?
No, so far I was there.
Did you see anybody by the name of McCray, Antron McCray?
McCray, no.
Do you know somebody by the name of Antron McCray?
Antron, yes.
You do know someone named Antron,
Yes.
but you don't know his last name?
No.
Did you see him here today at the 24th Precinct?
Yes.
Did you see someone by the name of Lamont?
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 No.
Do you know anybody by the name of Lamont?
No, man.
Was there anybody else?
So far I was about it. That's all I knew. Everybody else was busting the crowd.
Do you know someone by the name of Clarence?
Clarence? No.
Clarence Thomas? Do you know him? You were saying that these people were all part of a group of 30 people,
Yes.
about. Where did you see them?
I saw them on tours. The park, Central Park.
Do you remember what street you saw them on when you first saw them?
10th Street and 5th Avenue.
And what did you do then?
I went over towards them.
Okay. Did your friend Eddie go with you?
Yes.
Did you speak to anybody when you went over to the group?
Yes.
Who did you speak to?
My friend Yusef.
What did you say to Yusef, or what did Yusef say to you?
I said, what's going on? They just going to the park. We just going to the park. Let's just chill. to chill. So what's in the park to chill? So Eddie came along, but he ain't stayed too long. He left.
Okay. Let me ask you, when you say, you said that Yusef said to you, we're going to the park to chill.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
As I'm saying, he's going to the park, just do whatever's there to do.
Did he say anything to you using the word violence?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
You-
Steve said that.
Steve said that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yusef said you were going to they were going to the park to chill.
Yeah.
And did he tell you to come along, or did you say you were coming along?
Yeah, come along.
And what did you say?
So, okay.
When did you have a conversation with Steve?
It's just the day, just the time that he just made up saying that we was going to the park. I told him, and then he said Eddie can't go.
Who said Eddie can't go?
Steve.
Why did Steve say Eddie couldn't go?
Because him and Steve got a little, problem with each other.
What kind of problem do they have?
That's what I have no idea. They don't tell me.
So did Steve say something to Eddie?
They say he can't go.
And what did Eddie say?
He went anyway. And that happened.
Did Steve say anything to you about what was going to happen in the park?
No, he just said, we going to the park for violence. I asked him what kind of violence he's talking about. He said, whatever is there for us to do. He said, well, we get caught by the cops, and nobody get caught with you. Don't tell them who was with you or whatever. Just don't swear on us.
What did you say when he said that?
I didn't say nothing.
And the person, Steve, that said that, is that Steve Lopez?
Yes.
Okay. What happened after he said that?
We all went in the park.
Okay. How well do you know the park?
I don't know the park too well.
Do you know where you went when you went in the park?
Yes.
Would you tell us where you went?
We went to a field.
You went to?
A field.
A field. Do you remember how you got to that field?
We took the road to the field.
Okay. Was this a field that had baseball markings on it?
Yes.
Was there anybody, when you went into the park, was it dark?
Yes.
Was there anybody on the field when you got there?
Yes. Someone was coming out the field.
Who was coming out of the field?
It's like a bum.
When you say it was like a bum, what did this person look like?
He was big, tall, heavy set, about at least 300 pounds. Big guy. And that's about it.
When you say he was a big guy, he was 300 pounds. You saw Detective Nugent earlier.
Uh-huh.
Do you think Detective Nugent is a tall man? Could you stand up for a minute?
He's taller than him.
Was he? How much taller was he?
About 5'11", or 5'11".
Detective, how tall are you?
5'7".
And was he a lot heavier than the detective?
Yes.
What happened when he came out?
When he came out, it was me and a couple of others. We was in the back of the crowd, getting acquainted with each other, getting to know each other.
What did he do?
It was me, the new guys that came on the block. We was getting to know each other better, getting acquainted. And everybody else ready to do what they was ready to do. They charged the big guy. They hit him.
Who hit him?
I don't know his name.
What did the person look like who hit him?
He was about 5'7", black face.
Mm-hmm. Did he have dark complexion? Dark skin? How did he wear his hair?
Short, very short, no style. Short, nappy hair.
And do you remember what he was wearing?
I black coat with white stripes on his arms.
Okay. And did it have a hood, or it was just a black and white coat?
He had a little hoodie.
When you saw him hit him, can you tell us, did he hit him from the front or the back?
No, he jumped on him.
He jumped on him from the front or the back? He jumped on him from the front or the back?
Jumped him from the back.
And did he knock him down that way?
Yeah.
What did he do after he knocked him down?
Everybody started stomping him.
What exactly did he do?
Start stomping on his stomach, kicking him in his face. Everybody was joining in on this.
Okay.
And he had bottles in his bag. Everybody throwing bottles at him, knocked him out.
Did he have any food with him?
I had no idea.
Did you see anybody take any food from him?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Well, who did you see take food from him?
Raymond. He not the Raymond from up here. He never. And that was about it. Everybody was just stomping.
Everybody started stomping on him and kicking him.
Yes.
Did you also do that?
No.
What did you do?
I was over there talking. I was over there getting acquainted with somebody in the back.
Who was that?
This kid named Andre.
What's Andre's last name?
I don't know his last name.
Where does Andre live?
He lived in Lehman.
In Lehman?
Yes.
Is
He's
that a
over
house?
there about.
How long did the people kick and, as you said, stomp on?
It did for quite a while. Steve was in there. And it
Was this man screaming? Was he crying?
Nah.
Was he moving?
Yes. They was moving so fast they thought he was dead.
Who thought he was dead?
Steve and Kevin on him. I don't know everybody.
Why did people think that he was dead?
So they did him so fast. They hit the floor, and all you see him knocking out, he fell out and fell asleep.
When you say he fell asleep, were his eyes closed?
Yeah, knocked out.
And he was knocked out? He wasn't moving anymore?
No.
And you were able to see his eyes were closed?
Yeah, because he was about to fright. He was scared.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
No, he seen this coming, but he was scared. He just like everybody rushed him at the same time.
All 30 people?
No, about good 15.
Did any of the people, who were the people that you saw stomping him?
Steve, Kevin, Al, Alfred.
Okay, when you talk about Al, is that Alfred Morris?
Yes.
You know where Al Morris lives? Did these guys say anything when they were kicking and stomping?
Nah. And they were about to leave his body there. I told them to leave his body there.
Did anybody take beer from him?
Yeah.
What did they do with the beer?
They threw it away.
Did anybody pour anything on him?
No. They were leave his body there. I told them to put his body in the grass.
Why did you say that?
Because one, cars when they will hit him. Two, put his body in the grass. People would think that he fell out drunk. He had put a lot of beers inside of his hand.
So the reason you thought it was a good idea was not just so that he wouldn't get run over, but so that if someone found him, they wouldn't think that he'd been beaten up.
Yeah.
Okay. Whose idea was it to put him in the grass?
I did.
That was your idea?
Yes.
And did anybody move him to the grass?
Yes.
Who did that?
It was a couple of new faces out there. I don't know the names.
Not the people like Kevin or Raymond Santana. Not those people.
So I'm thinking about it was Raymond. Sometimes I see his face.
You think it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't touch him.
You didn't touch him? All right. What happened after he was moved to the grass?
Put him on the ground, removed it. I saw further. We seen two people on the bench. They were about to rush the people that was on the bench. They said no, so they knew.
Where did you see those people?
Over there where we put the guy in the grass at.
All right. Now, you had said earlier that you were near a field that had baseball markings on it. When you put this bum on the grass, was that near that field?
The field was further up.
The field was further up from... You were still walking toward the field, or had you already passed the field?
No, we walked towards the field.
You were still walking toward it?
Yeah.
So it was after you put the bum in the grass that you continued to walk toward the field?
No, we walked toward the exit going out, but we didn't go out. And And we seen two people on the bench. That was a female, a male and a female. They was gonna beat up the male.
Who said let's beat up the male?
Kevin and Steve.
Mm-hmm.
They said, nah, don't beat up the male. Don't beat them all. Leave them alone. They ain't doing nothing.
Who said that?
Huh?
Who said that?
Kev said that.
I'm sorry, I thought Kevin was the one who said let's beat him up.
He said it, but he thought about it. Everybody like it, because nobody was going to do what he said. Because it didn't look right. So he thought about it.
What didn't look right?
Huh?
What didn't look right?
Because he was going to do that by himself. And nobody was going to plan on doing it with him. So he decided not to do it by himself.
Why didn't other people want to do that?
Huh?
Why didn't?
Because it's just like, say, listen, if they was out with their girlfriend or something, they don't want that to happen to them.
So it was Kevin's idea to do it, and when he suggested it, nobody wanted to join in.
Yeah.
So then he said, oh, let's not?
Yeah.
So he was the one who first suggested it, and then when nobody wanted to help him, he said, nah.
Yeah, somebody about to help him, but they thought about it, said, nah, it's not called for. So we moved up.
And you continued going toward the baseball fields?
And we seen the other guy, he wasn't no bump, it was a fresh cut. Fresh.
What does that mean when you say
like,
that? Did you say a fresh cut?
Yeah, like, say, he wasn't no bum. He was nice. He was
Nice
dressed
dressed?
nice, yeah.
Did he look like he was old or young?
He looked like he had been 18 or something. So 18.
I just want to say I'm sorry. One of the police officers came in and removed a podium. I'm sorry, I made some interruption. I'm sure you have seen the video camera. We're taping the statement and we're recording it on a tape recorder.
I understand.
But I think that happened out of the view of the camera, and I just wanted to say that's what the noise was. You were describing a person that was a fresh cut?
Yeah, he wasn't a bum. He was like one of us. He was like clean. He was clean.
He was clean.
Yeah.
What did he look like? Was he black or Spanish or white? Or?
He's black. Light skin.
Was he by himself?
Yeah.
And was he walking toward you, or?
Yeah, he walking towards the inside the park.
What happened when he walked toward you?
Steven said, yo, you got money on you. You got, everybody said it too. And he said no. Because we were about to leave him alone until somebody said, yo, let's chase after him for the hell of it. So he chased after him. He said, yo, we going to chase after him. He ran. He ran fast. He got away. And we didn't catch him. We didn't bother chasing him no more.
Was there someone there that night that you saw a black male who had two gold front teeth? Do you remember seeing somebody who had two gold teeth in the front? Okay, and did you see... Well, I'll ask you that later. They asked for money from this guy and he ran. You said that this fresh cut, he was asked for money, and did he give anybody money?
No.
He just ran?
Yeah.
Did he run back the way he had come, or did he run?
He ran into the park, to the field.
He ran into the park?
Yeah.
And did anybody chase him?
Yeah, they was chasing after him for a while. A few, they stopped, they didn't bother chasing him no more.
Did you chase after him?
No.
Did you see who did chase after him?
See, I did see who chased after him, but I don't know the people.
You don't know their names?
No.
After they chased after him and didn't catch him, did they come back to where the rest of the group was?
Yeah. Then we moved up towards the field.
Okay. What happened then?
And we seen a biker, two bikes put together with two people, with a male and a female. The male was in the front, and the female was in the back.
And were they coming toward you?
Yeah. Everybody said, yo, attack them.
Who said that?
Huh?
Do you remember who said it? Steven said it?
Yeah. So, the biker, he was kind of slowing down between. Everybody told him, yo, we want to go. Hurry up and ride faster. And everybody was hitting him and the female. But he still had his balance. He was still riding. So he got away.
He was able to ride through and pass the group?
Yes.
Let me go back for a minute. Before you went into the park that night, did you do any drugs?
No.
Did you smoke any crack?
Any
pot?
No.
Did you do any cocaine? Did you have any kind of alcohol?
No.
Were you straight when you went in?
Yes.
And you didn't have any drugs or any alcohol when you were in the park?
No.
All right. After those people on the bicycle got away, did anybody chase after them?
No.
What happened next?
So we walked further up, and there was a runner coming. Everybody running towards his way. He was coming towards our way. And he seen all of us. He turned back around. And there was another biker coming, and he wanted a biker to come towards our way. So the biker and him went, they both the same way.
Did you guys chase after
No.
the jogger?
So,
Were you able to see what that jogger looked like? Was that jogger running on a paved road, or was he running on a dirt path?
He was on the ground.
He was
Not
on
dirt.
not dirt. Okay. What happened next?
So there was a car coming at Alfred. He said, "Don't throw a rock at the car."
He said,
"Don't throw a rock at the car."
"Don't throw a rock at the car."
Yeah, there was a car coming, and somebody wanted to throw a rock at the car. Boom!
What kind of a car was
It
it?
was a cab. I
Cab.
think it was a cab. He stopped at the light, green light. He came out, and everybody turned around and said, "He coming out." And somebody yelled out, "Go back in your car before we rush you." He didn't get back. So he went in, instead of closing the door, he pulled out a CB. He started talking. So everybody said, he called the cops. So said, yeah. So we looked down towards the exit of 104th Street. And when I looked down, I see the police car coming around with the big spotlight hitting everybody. So I'm been there. Everybody ran towards, oh man, I forgot the name of the lake.
Is that the one that has a fence around it? Is that the reservoir?
Yeah, reservoir.
Everybody ran.
Half of everybody ran towards the reservoir.
Did some people run a different way?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you run?
I ran towards, going towards the west side.
Okay. Did you run toward the reservoir?
No.
How many people ran with you?
So far, I only seen one. That was Al.
Al ran
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Were you together, or did he just run in the same
We
direction?
was just running the same direction.
Was he close to you when you were running?
Yeah.
How close was he?
He was like, he was close.
Right beside you.
Yeah, he was close.
Who else besides Al was running with you?
I don't know. I ain't look back, but Al knew who was in the back door. I ain't look back. I kept on going.
The two of you were in the front,
Yeah.
and there were other people behind you.
Yeah.
Do you know who was in the other group that ran a different way?
So far as I know, was Yusef ran towards the reservoir, and a couple of new guys. Because Yusef had my ball with black tape going around me.
What did Yusef have?
My ball. They took out my house. I didn't see him take out my house.
Okay. When was Yusef in your house?
He was in my house. The day that the accident happened.
He was there earlier in that same day.
Yeah. So we was running. We got down to towards the horses track.
Mm-hmm.
And we got on the floor.
You lay down?
No.
When you say you got on the floor?
No, we just like the ground. We started running still.
Okay. Were you running on a place where the horses ride?
Yeah.
And that was cleared of trees?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go back for a second. You said Yusef was running in a different direction?
Yeah. All the new guys ran towards Yusef's direction. That's going toward the reservoir.
Okay. And Yusef had
my bar.
Your bar.
And
How long is the
knife.
bar?
Huh?
How long is the bar about? All right. And what
heavy,
is it?
Very heavy.
Very heavy. What's it made out of?
Iron. It's pure iron.
Is it solid?
Yes.
Does it have anything on it?
Tape.
Where is the black tape on it?
It was on it.
Was it on the whole thing or just a
Yeah.
part of it?
On the whole thing.
Where did you get this bar in the first place?
My father brought me home.
What kind of bar is it? What do you use it for?
Huh? Sometimes we put it on the door because half my brother not supposed to come in, and they get keys out. They get keys from other family. They try to come and do our lock, so we used to put the bar right there on the lock.
Okay, and That means that your brother can't open the door. He just can't get to the lock.
It's like a slam lock. The slam lock don't work no more. Cause we had a lot of robberies in the building. Everybody was kicking the doors open.
Did you know that Yusef had your bar when he went into the park? Who were the people who ran with Yusef?
I don't know, a couple of new guys.
These people, someone like Kevin Richardson.
Yeah.
Where did he run, with you or with Yusef?
Here's what Kevin and Stephen.
Who was with Kevin and Stephen?
Huh?
Who was with
Raymond.
All right. Were they with Yusef?
Those with Kevin and Steve.
Okay. I'm trying to understand. You said Yusef ran one way and you ran a different way?
It's about 4 of them was Yusef, going toward the reservoir. About 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know who it was.
Okay.
I was with me. It's like everybody picking a partner who to be with while they were running.
And
we had a certain feet going down. That's where the police was at. That was over there by the horses.
the police were off the paved road and they were in...
They were right there.
They were on the paved road near where the horse path is.
Yeah. So
you were running away from the police?
Yeah, we was going down into the where all the trees is at. Going straight down. With the waterfalls and all that down.
There's a stream in there?
Yeah.
And is that down a fairly steep hill?
Yes.
You were running away from the police?
Huh?
You were running away from the police?
Yes.
Were you afraid the police would get you because of what happened to the bum?
Yes.
And so you were hiding from the police?
Yes.
Who was with you when you ran down toward the stream?
Mayor Alfred. That's what I say. And Alfred talking to somebody else while everybody looking back.
Okay. And did you see any joggers there?
Huh?
Did you see any joggers running?
See, I know you'll get to, yeah.
Were you running through trees?
Yeah, going straight down. Straight down to the trees.
Right. I'd like to show you a picture. Before I show it to you, let me just see if we can... All right. I'm going to show you this picture and ask you, does that look like where you were running? Okay. Does that look like near where the stream was?
I was directly at the stream now. This is where you can see the water.
Just bear with me for one moment.
Sure.
Let me show you this picture. Does that look familiar to you? Without the police car being in the picture. Does that look familiar to you?
This right here is going. That's the hill going straight down.
Yeah.
That's where I was.
That's where you were running.
Yeah.
Angle it to me, please. Get a reflection. No, up.
Is that better?
Yes. Okay. You want to say another one?
Okay, let me show you a third picture. Again, on the night that you were there, the cars probably wouldn't have been there.
Okay.
But do you recognize what's in that picture?
You got the field.
Okay. Is that a fence near the field?
Yeah.
And when you say the field, you're talking about the baseball field.
Uh-huh.
And if you come down from the field, there's a little bit of
a hill coming down.
there's a little bit of a hill and then a little bit of a paved road and then a long hill.
Yes.
Is that where you were running that night?
Yes.
Could you turn the picture and point it toward me and show me, if you can on that picture, where were you running? Does it show in the picture?
No.
Okay, can you show me, is it more toward you or more away from you?
It's more on this side.
More on the side toward me.
Yes.
But it was in that same area.
Yes.
Pull it out. More out. Yes. Angle it down. Perfect. Okay.
All right, that's one last picture. When you look at that picture, does that look familiar to you? Can you see, if you look far into the background in the picture, can you see the stream in the back of that picture?
Right away.
All right, turn it and show it to us. Right. Is that where you were running?
Yeah, I was down
Okay. And you say you were down here,
there. Yeah.
past where it's green?
Yeah, right there was it
All right. Who was with you when you were there?
was Mayor Al. Mayor Al.
All right. What happened when you were down there?
Yeah, we was down there. Then there was dog. We jumped down, went down the stairs, made a left. It was a left. It was a lot of water, a lot of mud, a lot of dirt. And we were stuck in mud. And I jumped off the mud, jumped on the dirt, dry dirt, and ran across. And I was stuck in dirt, and he stopped. He stopped with somebody else. I don't know who he stopped with. Now, the moment...
Was he in front of you or behind
He
you?
was behind me. The moment that we was down there, this is what I didn't see. The moment that I was out there, that's the moment that Steve, Kevin, and Raymond jumped the lady.
Okay.
That's the jogger.
All right. You saw those three people jump a lady jogger?
I didn't see it, but I heard a lady screaming on her way down.
All right. You were describing as you and Al and another person that you didn't know who was were running,
Yes.
and you were in the mud, and it was dirt, and it was all kinds of brush there, right?
Yes.
Trees and sticks. As you were running,
Uh-huh.
what was the very first thing that happened that drew your attention to where those three people were with the lady? Did you hear something? Did you see something? What was it?
So I knew it wasn't no rabbit. The rabbit don't make noise coming towards trees and stuff. So I heard a lot of giggling, a lot of running coming down the hill. And when I got further down into go home, I heard help.
Okay. Did you hear that? Was that a man's voice or a woman's voice? You
A
heard?
female voice.
But right before that, you heard some giggling, and
Yeah.
what other noise were you
Huh?
hearing?
From it says, shut up. That's what I heard. So I stopped. I stopped and paused. I want to say that was my friend Al.
Where was that noise coming from in relation to where you
It
were?
came from on this side, on my right-hand side of the woods.
Right. Was that further up the hill or further down by the stream?
Further down by the stream, but up the hill.
Further down by the stream, but up the hill?
But between there and there. Because she was right there where I was at. But I couldn't, it's like when I ran, I couldn't see her. If she was right there in front of me, I could have stopped and looked at her. But she was, being that I was right here, the hill was going up. She was right here. That's
Okay.
what.
So were you below where she was?
Yes.
Right. Were you directly below or to one side or the other side?
One side.
About how far would you say you were from her? If you had to
I was about
point something
a good 8 feet away from her.
out.
That's when I hit a tree.
You hit a tree?
I didn't hit a tree, but I ran around a tree. I was 7 feet away from her.
You hid behind a tree?
Yes.
You said you saw Kevin
Yes.
and who else?
Kevin, Steve, and Sean.
Okay. Who's Sean?
Raymond. Honestly, Raymond.
Was there somebody named Sean there?
No.
You saw Kevin, Steve, and Raymond?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned there were 2 Raymonds before. Is this Raymond Santana that you
Yes.
saw? What did you see them doing?
Then I heard the lady scream. I heard Steve's voice. And I heard Kevin's voice, how he was laughing.
What did you hear Steve's voice say?
Huh? Yo, he said, yo, we will rape her. That's what I do, rape her. And she was still screaming. I did that. They put something in her mouth, they gagged her so she can't yell or nothing. Or put their hand close to her mouth.
I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said?
No, they must have put their hand over her mouth so she wouldn't yell or nothing.
Did you see somebody put their hand over her mouth?
No, but that's what sucked, is every time she wanted to yell, it kept cutting over back and forth. It cut off about 3 times.
When you say cut her off, did he say something to her, or did her voice suddenly stop, or what?
Alright, when she yelled the first time, Steve said, we have to shut this woman up. She making too much noise. Then the second time, she said she was talking to them.
What was she saying?
I don't know. She was talking. And Steve told her to shut up. Then she yelled. She screamed one time.
What did she yell?
Huh?
What did
Hell. Because she like to taunt Steve, how he was talking to her. He said, you don't shut up, I'm going to slap you. When she shut up, he slapped her, knocked her out.
Could you see him slap her?
Huh?
Could you see him hit her?
Yeah, I'm behind the tree. I seen that hand going for a slap.
Okay. When he hit her, was she standing up or was she laying
She
down?
laying down.
Did he hit her with his hand?
Yes.
And where did he hit her with his hand?
Huh?
Where did he hit her with his hand?
Hit her in the face.
When you first saw her when you were down there, did you ever see her standing up?
No.
Did you see how she got to be there?
I know she was forced to go down there.
When you say she was forced to go down the hill, do you know if she walked down the hill or if she was dragged down the hill?
She was dragged.
How do you know she was dragged down the hill?
Because she sounded like she didn't want to go down there. She said, I don't want to go down there. It's like part of kidnapping.
Could you say that again, please?
It was between kidnapping, she didn't want to go.
Right. How did you know that she didn't want to go?
It was like, you hear the tone of her voice, she didn't want to go. She was screaming, trying to go off on Steve and Kevin.
Could you see what they were doing to her?
Huh?
Could you see what they did to her?
They were sexually abusing her.
Okay. Before that, to get her to that place, did you see how they got her to that
Yeah,
place?
they grabbed her. They grabbed her off the street.
Who grabbed her?
Huh?
Who grabbed her?
Raymond.
Right. Did you see how he grabbed her?
He picked up and covered her mouth.
Did somebody hit her?
Huh?
Did somebody hit her?
They hit her till they got down to the bottom.
Raymond put his hand over her mouth and he
Yeah.
picked her up.
Yeah.
What did the other 2 do?
He was calling her to help him because she was acting wild.
What was she doing to act wild?
Like she was fighting. She was fighting to get off. Then he dropped her on her feet. He kept out there. He tripped her. That's when put her down. And when he tripped her, that's when they carried her down.
Did you say that they carried her down?
Yeah.
How did they carry her down?
They was carried by her hands and feet.
Why do you say they must have? Did you see how they got her down there?
No.
I'm going to show you another picture.
Tilt the reflection the other way. Right. Perfect.
Why don't you look at that picture? Do you recognize that? can't tell where that is?
No.
There's a light post over on this side of the photograph, and there's some woods down here. Does that help you place where it is?
I don't know.
You don't recognize it that well. Let me show you another picture. If you look at that picture, and then look at this picture. All right. Would you turn the picture that you're holding around and show me where you say that they grabbed her?
But grab it right here.
Right, you're indicating there's a mark on that picture there.
Yeah.
What are you pointing to?
So this right here.
Okay, is there an orange police marker there?
Yes.
Right. When she was dragged, which way from that? Can you show me on the picture? Which way from that was she? Excuse me, when she was taken.
She brought her straight down. They brought
Okay,
her straight
where?
down.
Can you point on the picture the path that they took with her? You say straight down.
From right here, they brought her straight through. Straight through.
Straight through.
Yeah.
Now,
Straight
when you
in.
look at this picture, can you tell what that picture is?
That's where she was at.
Do you recognize that as the picture of where she was?
That's where she was at. That's where they picked her up from. When she dropped, when she fell.
You see where that mark on that photograph?
White, yeah.
Can you see that sort of
Whitish.
light, whitish area? Does that lead in the direction that they took her?
Yes.
Okay. Could you try to tell me again, if you could, how they took her from that spot into the area where the mud was?
They probably picked her up.
Okay.
Picked her up.
I'm asking you to try to think as best as you can. Don't tell me what you think they probably did. Try to tell me exactly what you saw or heard. Okay? Take your time.
What I say, don't pick, two were picking her up.
Who was picking her up?
Raymond and Steve picking her up.
Okay. You said a minute ago the first thing that happened was Raymond grabbed her
Yeah,
and she started to fight.
yeah,
And
fight.
she tried to resist.
And Raymond couldn't take her fighting. So he needed a little assistant to help make it easier for him.
Who came to his assistance?
Steve.
And what did Stephen do to help him?
Steve grabbed her because he let her go.
Raymond let her go?
Yeah.
And when he let her go, did she fall down?
Yeah.
Did she fall?
She fell on her knees, but she got back up on her feet. And Steve grabbed her from the back. That's when they dragged her all. That's when they dragged her all the way down.
And who dragged her?
Huh?
Who dragged her?
Steve.
Okay. Did you see how he dragged her?
Nah.
How do you know that he dragged her?
Huh?
How do you know then that he dragged her?
How you know? That's all I hear is Steve. That's what you can see in the background. It's Steve dragging her all the way down. That's when I got there. When I got there, and I turned my back, her yelling, help. That's when I turned my back. That's when it hit the floor. That's when it hit the grass. And that's the spot that you see the blood in. That's the spot they left her in.
You were in the park and you saw where the blood was?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to the park and see where the blood was with the detectives today? Yes?
Yes.
And was that with Detective Sheehan?
Yes.
And did you show him where the blood was?
Yes.
And the spot that you saw with Detective Sheehan, that's where you saw her body?
Yes.
You said that Steve dragged her down to that spot.
Yeah. They hold her down.
What did Raymond do
Huh?
while Steve dragged her there?
They hold her down. They was holding her down.
Okay.
On,
On the
back.
way to the spot,
Yes.
what did Raymond do?
He helped put her down there in that spot that you see the blood in. And he hold her arm straight out. And but Steve pulled out the knife. She thought she would get stabbed. But Steve,
Did she scream?
Oh yes. And covered her mouth. They gagged her. Covered her mouth.
When you say they gagged her, did they put something in her mouth?
I don't know. It stopped her from. All I know, she was yelling 1 minute. It stopped.
Okay. So you don't know whether she was hit unconscious or whether she had her mouth covered. She just suddenly stopped screaming. When Steve dragged her down, where was Kevin?
Kevin's halfway up there with them, bringing her down.
He was helping?
Yeah.
What was he doing to help?
I think he was holding her something. Cause I remember him getting scratched from her.
You saw him get scratched by her?
Yeah.
When she got to the bottom of the hill, what did Steve do with her?
It was Steve and Kevin, and Steve had the knife, and she thought that her knife was through. He ripped the shirt and cut it straight off.
What color shirt was she wearing?
I don't know.
You don't know what color it was? You said you saw him cut it?
Yeah, you see it, but I didn't see it. They must have took the shirt or whatever. I didn't see it.
Did somebody take the shirt off of her?
Yes.
Did you see
Steve
who did
took
that?
it off.
Right. And did somebody take her other clothes off?
They took her pants off.
Who took her pants off?
Raymond.
What kind of pants was she wearing?
She's one of those sweatpants. I guess it was sweatpants.
Were they long pants or shorts?
I think it was tight sweatpants.
You say tight sweatpants. Were they like bike
Yeah,
pants?
bikers.
And when the pants were taken off, what happened?
It was taking long. They took it halfway off.
They just took them halfway off.
Yeah,
Was she lying on her back or on
Yeah.
her face?
her back.
What happened?
It's right there. Punched in the eye, beat up.
Who punched her in her face?
Steven.
And did you ever see him use anything to hit her with?
No, I haven't seen.
You didn't see him use any kind of a weapon?
No,
Did you see him use a stone or a brick?
no, I haven't seen that.
How many times did you see him hit her?
I seen him hit her twice. And when I hit her twice, Kevin got scratched up again because he was trying to hold her hands down. And Steve said, "Oh, Kevin, she's scratching you up, man. There's evidence on you that she's scratching you up." So he hold her hand and he slapped up. So she scratched him up.
Who did that?
Kevin.
You said that someone had sex with her?
Yeah, Kevin. It's Kevin. Raymond. It was Stephen Raymond.
You sure who had sex with her?
Yes.
Who was the first person to have sex with her?
How we got it? It was Raymond.
Do you remember talking to the detective about who had sex with her?
No.
When you talked to this detective earlier, to Detective Nugent?
Huh?
When you talked to Detective Nugent earlier, did you make a statement to him and tell him that 2 people had had sex with her?
Yes.
And did you tell him the names of those people?
Yes.
Did you tell him one of those people was Steve?
Yes.
And do you remember that you told him that one of those people was Kevin?
Yes.
All right. Now you just said it was Raymond.
It was Raymond. It was all 3 of them.
All 3 of them had sex?
Yes.
Who was the first one who had sex with her?
So or what? Who? It was Steve.
Okay. When he had sex with her, did you see him take his pants off?
Huh?
Did he take his pants off?
Halfway off.
How far down did he take his pants?
Knees.
And did he get on top of her?
Yes.
Did he lay down on top of her?
Yes.
And what did he do when he laid down on top of her?
Yes. He just raped her from there.
Right. When you say he raped her, what did you actually see him do?
She was like refusing, hitting him, and still slapping him. And holding her arms down.
And did you see him moving on top of her?
Yes.
How was he moving?
Around.
How was he moving?
Wow. It's wild.
Did he say anything while he was doing this?
He was saying something to Raymond and Kevin.
What did he say?
Kevin said he was next. And Raymond said I was next. It wasn't arguing, they were playing around with each other. They were playing around with each other, arguing with each other. You know
Did
what?
Stephen say anything to either of those two people?
No.
Did you see what Kevin and Raymond were doing while Stephen was having sex with her?
They were playing with her.
What were they doing to play with her?
Playing with her chest and playing with her legs.
Okay, who was playing with her breasts?
Raymond.
All right. Did you see when you say he was playing with her breasts, was he touching her breasts?
Yes.
Was he doing anything else?
Yes.
What else was he doing?
Just playing with her breasts.
Besides touching her breasts, did he put his mouth on her breasts?
Yeah.
Did he do anything else?
No, that's what I said.
What did you see Kevin doing?
He was playing with her legs.
What was he doing to her legs?
I don't know, his body was in the way.
Which part of her body was facing you?
You know what I'm saying? His back was facing my face.
So his back was to you.
So I couldn't see.
You couldn't see what he was doing. But he was near her legs?
Yeah.
After Stephen was done, then what happened?
So Raymond jumped on top of her. They hold her down again.
Was she still screaming?
Not no, for a while. But she couldn't handle no more, so she didn't scream no more.
Did you see if she was bleeding?
Yes.
She was bleeding or wasn't?
Yes.
Where was she bleeding from?
Huh?
Where was she bleeding
Her
from?
legs.
Did she have any shoes on?
I don't know.
When Kevin got on top of her, did he take his pants off?
Yeah.
Did he take them all the way off?
No, he didn't take them off. He had zipping his pants. That's about it.
Okay. And did he do the same thing that you saw Kevin do? Did he do anything different?
A little different.
What was different?
Huh?
What was different?
He did the same thing that Steve did. That's about it. And they were planning on putting it in her mouth.
Who wanted to put it?
Raymond.
Raymond wanted to put it in her mouth.
Yeah.
Did he say that while Kevin was having sex with her?
So,
What exactly did he say?
Yeah, he'll do it, put it in her mouth, man, put it in her mouth. You know, man, the way the condition she is, she might bite my shit. That's about it.
Who said that? Who said she might bite you?
James. Raymond. So, about a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they left. It's like, they
Okay, let's go back for a second though. You said Kevin was second.
Yeah.
And what happened, while he was doing that, what did Steve and Raymond do?
They were playing with her too.
They were playing with her. What exactly were they doing?
Huh?
What exactly were they doing?
Kevin was playing, Steve was playing with her chest and James, and Raymond was playing with her legs too.
And after Kevin was done, did he get off?
Yeah, they got off. And before they left, once they pulled out his knife, they cut her legs up. Cut her up.
What did he do to cut her up?
Huh? They pulled out and just started cut her legs up. His chest, whatever. I didn't really see it.
You didn't see him do that?
No, but I just seen how he was swinging. I see the knife go over there and see him swing. And I know maybe that she was knocked out. She had to wake up from that stab. She was waking up from the stab marks.
Was she screaming?
Yeah.
When Kevin was finished, did Raymond have intercourse with her?
No.
Okay. Did you see anybody masturbate on top of her?
She be masturbating.
Play with themselves? Jerk off?
Yes.
What did you see people do?
Huh?
What did you see
It
happen?
was Stephen and Raymond. There was jumping around on top of her, coming on.
Who was it? One or two?
Two of them.
Did they say anything while they did that?
It feel good, man. They said, yo, we'll be leaving in a few minutes.
Did they know that you were behind the tree?
No.
Where was your friend Al?
Huh?
Where was Al?
I left him. I don't know where he went. He might have went towards their way or someone probably went back up.
Was there anybody there with you?
Yes, my friend Eddie.
Do you know that the police interviewed Eddie?
They did?
Mm-hmm. Eddie says that he didn't go into the park with you. Eddie said that he didn't go into the park with you.
So this is what Eddie told me before all this happened. So when he was there, I said, man, that you said you ain't do nothing. I'm going to have to need you for evidence, man. So I'm not going to do no time for nothing I ain't do. Man, you see what's going on. He said, I might get in trouble. You're not going to get in trouble. All you got to do is tell her what you say, man. That's about it. Don't make me look like a liar. So he said, I don't know, man, I don't know. You know how I am with police when they come and interview me. They do it, so you go.
Well, you said that when you were running earlier, you were running with Al.
Yeah.
You didn't say that you were running with Eddie.
I know that. Eddie came in, though. Eddie came in the park.
And he was near where you were?
Yeah. He wasn't right near where I was at, but he was calling my name.
What, did there come a point where Raymond and Kevin and Steve left?
Yeah. When they left, the minute they left, it's like Eddie came over towards me. So every time I kept yelling towards him, he found where my voice was at. And he came around the tree where I was at. He said, what happened? What happened? I said, Steve and Kevin just went the woman, man. I said, what? I said, just went the woman. I said, where the woman at? Stop talking, like, right there. She was right there. They were moving up. And Eddie tippy-toed over there. He ran slow and looked at the woman. I said, yo, don't let her look at your face.
Was she bleeding?
Yeah.
Where was she bleeding?
I don't know, it was dark.
Well, how could you tell she was bleeding if it was dark?
Huh?
How could you tell she was bleeding?
It was a lot of blood. You see, you look at the blood.
Where was the blood?
Huh?
Where was the blood?
All over our body. Like they spread it all over our body.
Was she moving anymore?
Huh?
Was she moving
Yeah, she's
anymore?
still moving.
Was she saying anything?
Huh?
Did she say anything?
Help.
Did you see where her arms were?
Huh? What happened?
Did you see where her arms were?
Cause to spread it out.
Did you see where her shirt was?
The shirt was, I think it was off her back.
I'm sorry?
The shirt was off her back. It's like they moved it somewhere. It was like near her, but I didn't really look at the shirt. I looked at her body, and she was about to open up her eyes, so I moved away from my eyes. I moved away from her body.
Let me show you a picture. You recognize what that is? What is that?
Her shirt.
Was that near her or on her when you saw her?
It was near her. It wasn't on her.
Okay. Do you want to show another one? Tilt it down a little. Okay.
Look at that picture. What's in that picture?
It's her.
Is that the woman that you saw?
Yes.
Is that sort of the way she looked when you saw her?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What do you see in those pictures?
Her legs.
I'm going to show you this picture again. I want you to take a good look at that picture. Does that show a picture of her head? Is that the picture you just looked at a minute ago? Can you see in that picture her head?
Yes.
You see the side of her head? How did those marks get on her head?
Mark knife.
Who did that?
Steve.
Those aren't the injuries of a knife. The doctor says she has a fractured skull.
Oh, it is.
Well, I shouldn't say that those aren't the marks of a knife. She has a fractured skull. She was hit with a very, very heavy object there. Do you know how that happened? Is that the way she looked when you saw her?
Yes.
And you say that she was moving and still screaming when you saw
She
her?
was moving a little bit. She wasn't in a position like she was dead.
Can you see in that picture her eyes? Her eyes are black and blue? Do you know how her eyes got that way? Who punched her? Who punched her?
Raymond and Steve. And I feel it was Kevin.
Did you see anybody with a stone or a brick or any kind of a heavy object?
I might have turned my back forever. They must have did that.
After this happened, did you hear anybody say anything about hitting her with a stone or a brick or something heavy?
That's the next day.
Who said something to you the next day?
Huh? Who said something to me the next day?
Yeah.
Who was it? Matter of fact, Al told me.
What did Al say to you?
I asked him what happened to her. I said, because there was everybody on the news. They approached me first.
I'm sorry?
People that are watching the news. They told me what happened on the news. I'm like, what you mean what happened? They said, what happened to the lady on the news? I said, what you mean? And she's all beat up and cut up and all that. Wait, I said, when was this? I said, last night. So I had to ask him, figured I left about that. I said, what happened to the lady on the news?
The lady what?
The lady on the news, like, what happened to her? And he said,
Korey, how would Al have asked you anything about the lady when he wasn't there in the woods?
I left him out there, and matter of fact, I asked Yusef. He came home about what, 2 in the morning. I asked Al couldn't really give no good information about what was going on.
Well, a minute ago you said that Al asked you. Which was it?
Huh?
A minute ago you said Al asked you. Now you're saying you asked him. Which one is it?
I asked him. So
Let me tell you right now, Korey, okay? This is very, very serious.
I understand.
This may be murder. We don't know if this woman is going to live. I want to know exactly what you saw and exactly who said what and exactly what you said to people. All right? After seeing those pictures, I'm sure that you can see how important this case is and how important it is to know what happened.
What happened to the lady after people told me on the news? Because my friend Eddie told me what happened. He said, yeah, and he said it too, but I'm saying, you heard everything on the news. actually got beat up what caused all those scars. He said, yo, who had a knife? Yeah, who had a knife that day that happened to that lady? I said, I mean, you know that Steve had a knife on him. So I said, who's out there with Steve? I said, the people that was out there with Steve was arrested, so I can't really much say. He said, who you left out there? I left Al. So we had Al. So when he said about it, I couldn't really much say nothing. He ain't really much say nothing.
After, let's go back to the night in the woods. After Kevin and Steve and Raymond left, you went over to that body. And you're telling me that it looked the way it does in the pictures here. Right? What'd you do?
I looked at it too hard. I couldn't look at it no more. Serious.
Was she naked?
Huh?
Was she naked?
Yes.
Was her bra around her neck? Did you see her bra?
I ain't about to look at that, man. I ain't about to look at none of that. I was looking at the position she was in. Since it told me if I stayed around that body too long, I wasn't going to do time for this, so I left.
Did you leave by yourself?
I left with Eddie.
Where'd you go?
I went straight home.
Did you say anything to anyone?
Huh?
Did you say anything to anyone?
No.
Did you call the police?
No.
Did you see what happened to Steve or Kevin or Raymond that night?
I knew Steve and Kevin got locked up. I knew that. And by the next day, the detectives came up here with Kevin's sister. And one of the cops knew me by saying hi. One of the cops looked at me in an ugly grin. So I'm like, why are you looking at me like that for? He was looking at me for a long time. So I ain't about looking at him. So I was just a regular. So I said, I don't know. I said, Al. Whatever I did that night, I think I better go, man. So what you doing? The detectives up here, man.
Did you hear them talking when they left?
Huh?
Did you hear Kevin and Steve and Raymond talking when they left?
Left where?
The body?
I just heard one thing. Don't say nothing. They just said, don't say nothing about it. Just don't say nothing about it.
Did they say that to you?
No.
How did you find out that they got arrested?
Huh? They ain't come back. That was the news. My friend Yusef told me.
Who?
Yusef.
Where did you next see Yusef?
I seen Yusef the next day, right after the accident. All that.
When you say the accident, Korey, when you say the accident, what are you talking about?
Huh?
When you say the accident, what are you talking about?
Lady.
All right, an accident is when somebody slips and falls down. All right, you saw people drag her down there. You saw people beating her up. You saw her so beaten up that she looks the way she does in these pictures. You call that an accident? Now tell me how you knew that these people were arrested.
My friend Yusef told me.
How did Yusef know?
Huh?
How did Yusef know?
He was in the park. He came out the park about 2:30 in the night, he said. He told me. And plus, everybody on the news told me. They said they see Kev with his jacket over his head going inside a car, police car, from the station.
Where were you when he told you that?
I was outside.
What were you doing?
Nothing.
Yusef was home at 10:30 that night. He didn't see you until 3:30 the next afternoon.
Yeah, we got home from school.
Yeah, so you didn't see him that night to
said,
find out he got
no.
arrested.
I
He got
went
home at
upstairs.
10:30 that night.
I went upstairs. I asked him what time he got back. He said he got back about 2:30 in the morning. He said because he was going to be on
Did you ask him for your pipe back?
Huh?
Did you ask him for your pipe back?
He said, "Nah, I asked him. I ain't say nothing about it." He said, "If you want to know where your pipe is at, the one of the new dudes that was with us got it. It had blood all over it."
Why did it have blood all over it? What did they do with it?
Because Yusef told me that they was at the reservoir. Him and some other dudes. They all arrested him on a man. They asked him something. They threw him up on a fence.
What'd they do?
They threw him up on the fence. Threw him up, and he got down, but they let him go. He ran. The one dude put up the ball and threw it at him. They hit him from the back, and he fell. And they ran up there and grabbed him and grabbed the ball. And Yusef said that he busted him in his face.
Did Yusef know anything about this woman?
Not that I know, but I thought he did. I asked him about it. He said he don't really know nothing about the woman. So everybody said, then that people was telling me what was going on in the news about it, I didn't really quite believe him. I had to see it for myself. I went upstairs to my house. My sister had the TV on. They said about 5 o'clock, they got Central Park on the news. That's stated what happened that night.
When was that?
Huh?
The next day?
The next day, yeah. So I went upstairs. I didn't go to mine. I went to my girlfriend's house. Me, Yusef, and Eddie went to my girlfriend's house and watched the news. And they said what happened.
Did you see any of these guys take any of her clothes?
Not that I know.
Did you see her shoes anywhere?
I didn't look at the body, man. I'm serious. I never touched the body. I didn't do nothing to the body. I just looked at the body.
Did you think that she was going to die?
Yes. Because he told me.
When you saw her in the woods, did you think she was going to die?
Yes.
And you left her there?
Huh?
You left her there?
I didn't want to be there.
You didn't call the police?
I didn't want to be there, man. Bad enough, I was running from the police. If I would have stood around there or told them, they would try to make me talk my way and say that I killed the lady or did anything to the lady, but I didn't do it. But I was running from the castle with the rest of the guys.
Let me tell you, Korey, we're going to do some tests.
I understand. You want a contest? A contest, huh?
Mm-hmm. We're going to take a specimen from her.
All
right, and we're going to analyze that.
Okay.
We're going to take samples, blood samples, from a lot of different people.
Follow me.
All right. I just want you to know that if we do that, we will probably get an order to take a sample from you. And then we'll compare the two tests.
Oh, I don't mind. I understand that.
All right, because you're in a position now where if you know that there's going to be a match, that you'd be better off if you tell us about it now.
I understand.
Instead of saying something that's not true.
I understand.
If we do that test, are we going to find that it matches Kevin?
Hey, it's going to match one of them. I know what I see.
Okay. I just want to give you a chance because I want you to be in a position where you're going to tell us the truth. And I just want you to know we're going to do those tests and we're going to make comparisons. We're going to compare them. Okay? Now, if you want to change something that you've said to us, because we're going to find out something in short order, now's the time to change it. Do you have anything that you want to change?
No.
Is there anything that's different at all? Because in a few minutes, we're going to end this interview. All right? I can appreciate that you're scared, and I can appreciate that this is a pretty sad case. But the thing that's most important is that you tell us exactly what happened. Because if you don't tell us exactly what happened, exactly what you saw, and exactly what you did, and exactly who you were with, and we find out that you were lying, it's going to look pretty bad for you. It's going to look like not only did you do something, which maybe doesn't turn out to be so bad, but that you lied to cover it up. And then it's going to look a lot worse.
I ain't covered nothing.
Hmm?
I ain't covered nothing up.
Can you take your hand away from your mouth? I can't understand you.
I ain't covered nothing up. I know
Is there
what I
any?
see.
Is there anything that you want to change about what you told us? Who was it who dragged her from the path into the woods?
Steve and Raymond.
And who else was there?
Kevin right there.
And what did they do after they dragged her down by the stream?
Like I said, they just dropped her, and they was like threatening her, like saying they would slap.
And did you see them hit her?
Yes, Steve slapped her.
How many times did he slap her?
Slapped her about 3 times. Yeah.
He only slapped her 3 times?
And that's what it looked like to me, slapped bad. Then Raymond slapped her. But after a while, when Kevin got scratched up by her, he punched in her face. They all started punching in her face.
Who punched her in the face?
Kevin.
How many times did he punch her?
Kevin punched her in the face over twice.
Did anybody else punch her in the face? Korey, you saw that picture. I'm asking
I
you.
understand.
How did she get the injuries that she had when you finally saw her? I mean, you get a punch, you see a fighter, you get a punch, you get a bruise.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't get bleeding. You don't get these lines. You don't get a fractured skull.
It more look like it's like a rock. Wood.
Did you see anybody hit her with anything but their hands? And I'm telling you, Korey, I don't want you to think that you have to say that, but I want to know what you saw that explains how she got so badly hurt.
I did see Kevin pick up a hand rock, a small hand rock, and hit across the face with it.
How big was the rock?
It was like it was a good shape rock.
Are you just saying that because I am asking you?
No.
Why didn't you say it before?
Huh?
Why didn't you say it before?
I remember me taking a quick glance in the dark. I remember him picking up a rock from out the dirt.
What did he do with the rock when he was done?
Huh? When it was done, I think he threw it away. What's he doing
All right, Korey. I don't have any more questions for you. Is there anything else that you want to say? All right. It is now 5 minutes to 2. This interview is concluded. Thank you. Korey, it's now 3:15. We concluded an interview at about 2 o'clock. I have been informed by the detectives that you wish to make a statement.
Yes.
Do you wish to say something?
Yes.
All right. Before you say it, let me give you your rights again. Let me remind you, my name is Elizabeth Lederer. I'm an assistant district attorney in New York County. You have the right to remain silent and to refuse to answer any questions. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Anything that you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to consult a lawyer now before any questioning and to have a lawyer present during the questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have no lawyer or cannot afford a lawyer will be provided for you now free of charge before any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now that I've advised you of the rights, are you willing to tell me the truth about the woman who was assaulted in Central Park on the night of April 19th of 1989?
Yes.
When I spoke to you about an hour ago at the conclusion of our conversation, I told you that we were going to shortly end our interview, and I told you that if there was anything that you wanted to change or anything that you wanted to correct, that was the time to do it. Now, let me just stop you for a second and say what I want to say. I now understand from the detectives that you want to change something that you said in the first statement. You want to change a lot. Why do you want to change the statement you made before?
playing innocent, and I know I wasn't. 'Cause I was with everything.
Why do you want to change what you told us before? Was what you said before the truth?
No, I wasn't. This is something I never had to do. I was scared to go to jail. If I have to do the crime, I gotta pay.
After you left this room, after we had our conversation that was on the videotape, did you have a chance to think about what you'd said?
Yes.
And what made you change your mind and decide that you wanted to make another
I
statement?
thought about it, about myself lying, and since I told me I lied to the wrong people.
Did any detective tell you to change your statement?
No.
Are you doing this of your own free
Yes.
will? Is it your own decision
Yes.
to ask to have another opportunity to make a statement?
Yes.
If we give you the opportunity to make a statement now, will you tell us the truth about what happened?
The whole truth, not but the truth.
Is that what you'll do?
Yes.
I just want to state for the record, Detective Hartigan and Detective Arroyo are also present in the room now. Since you left this room at the end of our last interview, where were you waiting?
I was upstairs.
And what were you doing upstairs?
I was conversating with one of the detectives.
Right. Is that when you told the detective that you wanted to change
Yes, ma'am.
your statement?
Yes.
And is it through that detective that you contacted me
Yes.
and asked to be allowed to go on videotape again?
Yes. I
Sorry.
couldn't do it myself, but I had to get an officer to do it for me.
Why don't you tell me now what was wrong in what you said earlier and what you wish to correct?
In the beginning, when they jumped the ball, I was in it too. When they stomped on him, jumped on him, kicked him, I kicked too.
And did you stomp too?
No, I just kicked. I just kicked.
And you kicked when the others also kicked?
Huh?
The others were kicking and you were doing it as well?
Yes.
How many times did you kick him?
I only kicked him inside twice.
Okay. Did you do anything else with respect to that guy?
No. I just put him, I didn't want to leave him in the street hurt, even though I know he was hurt. Me and my friend that I just knew that same day, we grabbed him by his sleeve and carried him off to the grass.
Do you know the name of that person?
No.
Was there anything else that you told us that wasn't true?
I was by the reservoir, and the damage that happened there, I didn't do the damage, but I did a little something there.
What you're talking about now, who was involved in this? Who was the victim in this case, in that incident?
My friend Yusef had my ball. He gave the ball to one of his other friends that was there. I didn't see it. They ran up on a man and threw him up against the fence, let him down. He ran. They got pulled out the ball and threw it at him and hit him and he fell. We all chased him, grabbed him. Yusef took the ball, hit him across his face. They all punched him, kicked him, and I kicked him, but I kicked him in his stomach. Then, they're coming towards the rape. We came down from the park, from the field, from the reservoir to the field. That's when we came towards the rape.
Who was we?
Huh?
Who was
It was
we?
me, Steve, and Kevin. I don't know who the rest of the others was. And Raymond.
Was Yusef there?
Yusef, yes. We Raymond ran back of her, and she looked back at Raymond, and she started running a little fast. Steve came out towards the front and grabbed her from the front. Then from the front, like from the beginning right there, that's when it started a little rain. Then they brought it all the way down.
Okay, when you say Steve grabbed her from the front and Raymond grabbed her from the back,
Yeah.
where were you?
Huh?
Where were you?
Me and Kevin and Yusef, we was right there looking at them setting it over, looking at them start everything by themselves.
You just said something about there was a little rape there.
Yeah.
Tell me what you mean.
Little Rape was saying Steve attacked her first with the rape. Right there.
Right there?
The first picture you showed me. The first picture you showed me where the white part was at. That's where it started from. Then it started all the way down.
Okay. When you say a little rape happened there, what exactly do you mean? Tell me what each of the people did.
Steven, he just felt her up. She couldn't take it. She was trying to scream. She slapped her.
She slapped?
She slapped Steve. And Steve slapped her back.
Was she dressed?
Oh, yes.
And when you say he felt her up, what exactly did you see him do?
Huh? Alright, let's see. Then that she couldn't take him by herself, and he couldn't take her by herself. Raymond grabbed her to make it hard on her. 2 against 1. It brought too much weight on her, and she had no choice but to let loose. She had no choice but to give up what they wanted. So from there, they brought her body way down there. That's where the blood was at.
How did they get her down to where you found the blood?
They dragged her.
How did they drag her?
They dragged her from her feet and dragged her down the rest. Her back was on the grass. They just dragged her down the rest. When they dragged her down, that's when Steve stripped her clothes with the knife and everything. Slapped her, punched in her face and everything. When they did all that, I didn't want to sit right there and look at what was going on. I didn't want to look like no. If you with them, you got to show a little effort around them too. So I had to get into it too. I wasn't doing what they was doing. They was on top of raping her completely. I was playing with her.
When you say they were raping her,
Huh?
when you say they were raping her, what exactly were they doing?
This how they was fucking her. This what they was fucking. Him and Steve and Raymond and me and Kev and Yusef was playing with her. Like Yusef had her arms and me and Kev was playing with her.
What were you doing when you were playing with her?
Huh?
What were you doing?
I was playing with her legs.
What were you doing to the legs?
Huh? I was going up and down her legs. I wasn't doing as much as they was doing.
Were you going up to her crotch?
No. I was about to. I said no. I couldn't exactly see myself doing that. Even though I was up to it. But I wasn't going to do it. I could see the expression on her face that when we do this and get caught by the cops and heck, it's going to be through. So what they did and what I did was different from them. The only people that did it different was me, Yusef, and Kevin did what they was doing. Me and Yusef was just playing with her.
Did you play with her breasts?
Huh? Yusef play with the breast.
Did you?
No. I didn't go up to the breast or nothing. I stayed on the leg. They told me pull out her pants. I said pull out her pants. So Steve got off of her. Steve said Steve called me a punk because I didn't do it. They hold her down. Which corner Steve ripped her pants with his knife. That's what made her mad. And that's when she started scratching him. What's her name? Kevin. She was yelling pretty loud. Used to close their mouth. They had bigger heads than us. Close their mouth. So we was looking at her, and I felt kind of bad. This is my first extreme I did to any type of female in the street. This is my first rape. I never did this before. This will be my last time doing it. This is my first experience. This will be my last. So when they did that, they just went on. They just went on what they was doing. And after, Kevin and Raymond picked up a rock. I think, no, I ain't gonna say I think. Kevin hit her in the face with the rock. That's what knocked her out. Definitely knocked her out. She thought it was a punch, but it was a rock that hit her. Steve was using the knife to cut her legs. I don't know how he was doing it. He was using cut her legs. Half of them was using their nails to cut her legs. And me and Yusef, they were since Kev and Steve and Raymond was acting wild. Me and Yusef stayed to the side. Even though we were playing with her, we stayed to the side. They were acting too wild. They were swinging on her and everything.
What does that mean?
What?
They were swinging on her.
They were punching her face, punching, boom, boom, boom. I couldn't stand looking at them punching her face through.
They were doing it with both hands?
Yeah. It was like more than 2 hands just punching her face.
Who was punching her?
Huh?
Who was punching her?
Kev, Raymond, and Steve. I'm still not saying that me and Yusef was playing innocent even though we were playing with her. But me and Yusef wasn't going that far, but doing that. The only way me and Yusef were going that far, that's as guys, that's as a man. That would try to defeat all of us.
I didn't understand what you just said.
I said, alright, since me and Yusef didn't go as wild as them 3 did, me and Yusef was all about, if, say for instance, if we would have grabbed the running man, being that he was a man, we knew he was going to stand up for his rights and fight back. That's when we knew we had to fight him. But since this was a female, she couldn't even take one of us. She couldn't even take a hit. Steve hit her one time, boom. She closed her eyes for quite a while. That's when he ripped her pants. And she just opened her eyes. She just got into it. Her ego and her body took over her. She started going wild.
What did she do?
Huh?
What did she do?
She was kicking. And she almost kicked me. That's why I moved out her leg. I let her leg go. I was holding her leg, let her leg go. So we all got little nicknames. So we wasn't calling each other by our real name, we called each other by nicknames.
What are your nicknames?
Huh?
What are the nicknames?
Since my friend Yusef is tall, we call him Kane. My nickname is Polo. They got Fedari is just Fedari. That's his nickname. We always go by our nicknames.
How about Yusef?
Yusef? That's his name, Kane, because he was tall. So we said like
Does
this.
Kevin have a nickname?
Kevin? Sometimes we call him Lemon Head, because his head is shaped like a lemon. It's yellow.
How about Steve?
Steve, we make up a name. We call him Tony Madonna, because Tony Madonna was dirty. He beat up his wife, he beat up everybody, so he's the only one that's beating this lady up. Call him Madonna.
Does Raymond have a nickname?
I mean, we didn't look up a nickname. The only way we gave each other a nickname because we lived in the same area. We see each other every day. My friend used to say, Korey, girl for Lakers, she kicking wild. Cause she kicked Kevin in his chest. Kevin wild on her and punched in her face. Half of them was punching in her stomach. Half of them punched in her leg. They said, we gotta let her go because so me and Yusef was telling Steve, let her go, man. Cause we don't want no dead body on our hands or strength. Leave it alone. At least let her live. He said, nah, man. She wants scratch Kevin, man. So what, man? What you gonna do? Go kill her? See, I wanna do something, so go kill her. Come on, man. But now we got cops out here looking for us. Come on. They've got half of our people. But by the time we all separated, this one Now Kev, and Steve, they made their first victim, the last victim. Their victim was inside a van.
I'm sorry?
The last victim before they left was inside a van. They beat up a man inside a van. And the police came. The minute that they was in the van, they wasn't thinking about the police. The police pulled over to the van and got both of them. That was already out.
Do you know that?
Huh?
How do you know that?
Cause one thing we seen the van. It was a what? I think it was a blue or black van. They ran up to the van and said, "Man, you said, well, yo, what you gonna do? What you doing, man? We gonna get this man in the van." So I thought about it. So the guy around my way got shot for messing with an undercover cop in the bread truck. I thought about this van. I left the man in the van alone. I didn't even touch the man in the van. But after they started doing that to the man in the van, and Yusef seen the police coming, Yusef ran. He didn't say nothing to Steve or nothing. He was Steve, come on. Steve said, "Nah, go ahead, man, go ahead." I guess it was money or jury, something was in there that they wanted real bad. When me and Yusef left, we just left Steve, Kevin, and Raymond by themselves. There was only three by themselves. That's when the police came over.
Was Michael Briscoe with you when you were with the woman?
Yes.
What did he do?
Huh?
What did he do?
He kicked her.
Anything else?
No.
What did this woman look like when you left her?
Just look at how she looked right there. Messed up. When they got off of her, cause it's like when they start cutting, when they start hitting with the bricks, I see blood scattered. I moved out the way. Me and Yusef left. We didn't leave. We was like 3 steps away from them. 3 steps away from them. They was beating her up. He was like, "Oh man," Yusef was laughing. So he got away laughing, and my expression towards that, I felt kind of bad. The reason why I did that, not just to prove myself, just the reason why I was with them. Not because they wouldn't call me a name don't bother me. Just the reason why I did it, because we was all together.
Was Anton there?
Huh? Yes. We was all together. Antron came the minute that there was Steve and they was beating this lady up. Antron said, "Oh man," blood was scattered all over the place. I can't look at it no more. Cause like I said, the reason why I did it, not just to prove myself. I don't prove myself for nobody. I just did it because we went to the park
To what?
Huh?
To what?
For trouble. We went to the park for trouble, we got trouble. A lot of trouble. That's what they wanted, and I guess that's what I wanted. If I was doing it, that's what I wanted too. I can't apologize because things is too late. All we gotta do is pay up for what we did. And we could cry, everything, but that still won't solve no question of what we did.
Did you hit her or kick her?
I ain't do nothing, I was just playing with her.
Did you hold her legs down?
Huh? I hold her leg down for what? 5 seconds.
That was when Stephen was on top of her?
Yeah. Then when he asked me to pull her pants down. I said, "Nah, That's when pants was too hard to take down anyway.
Did you try?
Huh?
You tried her pants?
Now I put my hand on the leg part to see how it was stretching. It was stretched, but it was still tight. I left it alone. But Steve just cut the pants. He didn't care. He cut it.
What happened to her clothes?
Huh?
Do you know what happened to her clothes
No.
or her shoes?
After Stephen, when she started kicking, when she ripped her pants, she started kicking wild, I left that alone. So I didn't want to get kicked in my face. There has been too much evidence. Even though I'm giving myself away, I have to do it anyway. Cause hey, it's too late. Like I said, it's too late. But when they did all this, man, Yusef was away from that. He was away from it. We looked at him. I felt bad. He started laughing. He said, but it ain't funny though. It's not funny what's going on. But he was laughing. But I felt it back just looking at it happen. I can imagine raping a woman, but not beating up just like that. I can imagine anybody raping a woman. If I have to rape a woman, I'm going to rape her. I can't beat her up. Can't look at it that way. Look at all that blood squirting and all this.
Did you get blood on your clothes? You sure?
I swear to God. I stepped through this. The minute I finished playing with the lady, me and Yusef, and in the minute that Steve told me to take her pants off, when I did, even though I tried to see how tight was her pants leg, and when the pants leg was tight, I left that alone. Steve said, get on. He told Antron, and he kept the whole arms down. And he did the pants, and man, Yusef grabbed me off the floor. I stepped away from them like he did. But what they did was on their own.
Was she wearing underpants?
Huh?
Did she have underpants on under her shorts?
No. I think she did, man. I think she did. Cause when I just seen them cut her pants, when he was cutting her pants, that's when my friend Yusef was laughing on her. Inside my heart, I couldn't see myself doing that. Not taking off nobody's pants. I can see him. Now I can't even take off a man pants, but if it's time for me to beat up somebody out, if it's time for me to beat up somebody out to Central Park, I'd rather beat up on a man that I know he gonna fight. That's what we almost had a problem with. We almost had a problem with that. And with a jogger. A jogger hit one of the kids, one of us hit one of the joggers. The jogger came back and hit the guy back.
Was this the same night?
Yeah. Hit one of the joggers. The guy hit the jogger hit him back. Everybody jumped on him. And the jogger ain't get beat up. He got scratched up a little bit. But he hurt out. He beat up half of everybody that was with us. When he got beat up, though, when he got up, he ran.
When you left that woman lying in the park, did you think that she was dead?
That's why I looked at it. I looked at it just like that. I was scared. I was nervous.
But you thought that if she was dead, she wouldn't be able to identify anybody.
See, Stephen was gonna kill her. They were gonna kill her so she don't identify us. And Yusef said, yo, don't kill her, man. Don't kill her. Bad enough you raping her. Don't kill her, man. And Steve said something towards Yusef. He said, I'm out of here. He left. And I followed him with him. He said, come on, Paul, we out of here. I looked at them while they were still on this lady. Then when they finished, she was still cut up, dude. That's when they cut her up. They left her body right there. When they left her body right there, she didn't move. Man, used to look back. They was going, Stephen was going the opposite way from us. Said, we going back to the block. Steve said, we see y'all back to the block. We said, okay. But you just kept walking. I stopped, paused myself. You just turned back and said, what's wrong, man? What's wrong? I looked back, looked at the lady, man. I said, oh, man. She said, it's too late, Korey. You can't do nothing, man. You can't do nothing. I said, hey. That's when another jogger came. And he says...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
When we took a statement from you before, what you're telling us now is not the same thing as you told us then.
No.
Why didn't you tell us the truth before?
I couldn't face telling the truth. I couldn't face it. I could not face it at all.
What made you change your mind?
I thought about it. I thought about it good, strong. Something told me you can get me with by lying.
We are about to finish this interview. I want you to know we will not have another interview, even if you send the detective and ask for a third chance to say something. So I'm asking you now the way I did at the end of the last interview. Is there anything at all that you have told us in the last half hour that you've spoken that is not true?
No more. All I said, that's what I had to say. I couldn't play myself innocent through the whole game. Something didn't sound right. It didn't sound right to me. I was playing innocent through the whole thing.
Did anyone make you change your story?
No. I thought about it. I thought about all the lies I said. And all the detective came in my face, arguing with me, cursing at me, hitting on me. I thought about it. I said to myself, you know you said a lie. You said about at least 10, 20 lies. I said, not even the first minute I stepped inside. All I had to do is tell the truth. I probably would have been home. But nah. Then I told a lie. I got to face up to what I got to live up to. Nah.
Have you told us the truth now?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell us the truth voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you wanted to?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force you?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone threaten you?
No.
Thank you very much. It is now 20 minutes to 4, and the interview is concluded.
So, go get your soda or something, right?
Huh?
Gotta go get your soda. You sound like a little thirsty or something. You want a soda?